Hi, I'm Dr. Sahil Mehta, interventional radiologist and founder of MedSchoolCoach. Today, I want to take you through 3 mistakes I've seen applicants make over and over again so that you can avoid it on your application. In working with a few thousand applicants, I've seen these mistakes come up too many times. And I think that if you take the advice I give you here, hopefully you can have a successful application this year. The first is underestimating the competition. What I mean by that is that everybody knows that it's hard to get into medical school, but people often underestimate just how hard it is. Over 60% of people who apply through the MCAS application don't matriculate. That's an incredibly large number and far tougher than any other graduate school competition that's out there. What you want to make sure to do is make sure that you understand where you stand in comparison to the remainder of the applicants. I see too many people who have poor GPAs and poor MCAT scores who want to just go ahead and apply and end up getting rejected, which could have been totally preventable. They oftentimes cite the one student they've seen with the poor GPA or the poor MCAT who gets in. There's absolutely exceptions to this. People with poor GPAs and poor MCATs can get in all the time. But if you look at your application and you realize that you have a 3.0 GPA and a 500 on the MCAT, maybe you're not going to be as competitive a candidate this year as you could be. That's not to say you should give up on medicine. There are plenty of different ways to get there, including taking a year off, retaking your MCAT, doing a post-bac, boosting your extracurricular activities, all kinds of things you can do to make sure you eventually become a physician. However, it might not be super wise to apply this year if your scores are not up to par. What you should do is think about where you stand amongst the competition. Remember that a particular school may get anywhere from 5,000 to 15,000 applications in any given year for anywhere from 100 to 200 seats. It's very hard for schools to understand and look through every single applicant, so they all utilize some sort of screening process. And if your GPA and MCAT is too low, you will likely be screened out. So before you go ahead and throw away an application, make sure you think about how competitive you are in the process. The next mistake I see people make all the time is applying late. Now, the AMCAS typically opens up in May in any given year. So does the Texas application, and so does the osteopathic application. You can usually hit the submit button around June, early June. Now, you can apply this early and be early in the cycle, which is great because that means medical schools can review you before too many applicants are in. What I see people doing is they see that the application deadline on a particular website may be listed as late as December or January, and they think they can wait that long before they apply. This is a common mistake that too many students make, and I really urge you not to make it. While some schools have non-rolling admissions and other schools have rolling admissions, almost every school starts evaluating applicants as early as August in any given year. If you apply later than that, it's really going to hinder your chances of getting an interview. Make sure that you apply early. If you're too late for this application cycle, take a year off, improve your extracurriculars, improve your grades, improve your MCAT, do all the things that you can do to make yourself a better applicant, and apply early next year. It's a common mistake, and I don't want you to make it. Just because application deadlines are later doesn't mean that a medical school is going to wait that long to evaluate your application. The final mistake I see in people's application is that they don't develop a story. MCAT score and GPA are without a doubt extremely important in the application process, but so is your story. There are many, many applicants who are going to have your same MCAT and GPA, and not a lot of them are going to get in. Let's take an example. For every student with a 3.8 GPA and a 512 on the MCAT, there's probably 99 students from any given school who are rejected with those same numbers. So what makes the difference? How does that one person get in and the rest of them rejected? The answer is that that person has developed a story that the admissions committee has latched onto. So how can you develop this story? You have a personal statement, you have your AMCAS activities section, you have secondary applications, and you have your interview to do so. Make sure that you are putting together a cohesive statement of why a school should really recruit you over any of the other pre-meds with similar stats to you. The development of this story is really what we help you do at MedSchoolCoach. We can help you hone in on your strengths and your weaknesses and figure out what an admissions committee might be looking for. Don't write about your GPA, don't write about your MCAT on your application in your essays and in your activities. That's not what those sections are meant for. Those sections are really meant to develop yourself as an applicant and sell yourself to admissions committees. We want to know at the end of the day why we should accept you and not the 100 other students with those same grades. So let us help you develop that story. Those three things, underestimating the competition, applying late, and not developing a story, are three common mistakes I see applicants make, and I hope you can avoid that so you can have a successful application season.